This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on The South Today, Terrace is the centre of the country's fashion industry, with the Wool-On event taking place over the weekend. Education Minister Chris Hipkins visits Mount Aspiring College to check out its multi-million-dollar upgrade. And the South Island Schools Canoe Polo Champs comes to Oamaru, bringing competitors from far and wide. Tēnā koutou katoa, ngā mihi o te ahi nei, kia ora, I'm Simon Anderson. Woolen garments were modelled on the catwalk in the remote township of Terrace, halfway between Cromwell and Wanaka, for the Wool-On fashion event over the weekend. The show had been in doubt until mid last week, when a last-minute bailout from the District Council helped the event get over the line.
After being away for 2 years due to venue issues and infighting, Wool-On was definitely back in central Otago for 2021, with the creative fashion event staged at a terrace vineyard on Friday and Saturday nights to a jam-packed audience.
Loads of happy people, and I think that's the biggest thing. Everyone's so happy and enjoyed themselves. Designers, models, the models loved it. Everybody really enjoyed themselves, and that's important.
It's been quite a battle for Mary Hinson and her committee, with an 11th hour bailout last week of $10,000 from the District Council, in the hope the event will grow in the coming years. Hinson says they've already been approached by a number of people and businesses that want to help it become again an annual event.
We're a new committee, we've never put on an event like this before, so it was a huge learning curve, but we did it, we got there, and now we're going to take those learnings and we're actually going to learn, to do things better. Yeah, make it bigger and better.
This year's Wool-On featured a new category for repurposed items, which was won by Alexandra local Charlotte Hurley, who has been pretty much out of the fashion industry for the last 15 years.
It's been a really long time since I did anything. I left fashion school in 2006 and I've not done anything in fashion or construction since 2006.
Hurley's winning item was made from an old blanket she'd bought on Trade Me. In Terrace, the South Today.
The last visible signs of a major Dunedin landmark will be out of sight by the end of this week. Removal of the 2 silos which towered over the former Cadbury chocolate factory for the last 30 years has started. The top third of the 28-metre high silos was removed by a crane early on Saturday. A Minister of Health spokeswoman says, depending on the weather, the middle parts could be taken down as early as tomorrow and the bases would be removed soon after. Education Minister Chris Hipkins is satisfied with the government's $46 million investment in Mount Aspiring College's new teaching spaces, whare, studios and library. Hipkins visited the college and viewed the construction project being undertaken by Naylor Love.
Queenstown's Mount Aspiring College has welcomed Education Minister Chris Hipkins to the campus for a visit. The school's roll is presently 1,140, but with the government's $46 million expansion, Mount Aspiring will be able to cater for up to 1,800 pupils.
Because the decisions that we make in Wellington have an enormous impact on what happens all over the country, including right here.
When completed, the whare and new teaching areas are set to accommodate 32 teaching spaces between them. Minister Hipkins says it's significant growth.
You can tell a lot about a school just by walking around and talking to the students and talking to the teachers and getting a feel for the vibe of the place.
The school is being redeveloped to cater for a forecast future roll of between 1,600 and 1,800 pupils, as the population of Queenstown and the surrounding areas grows. And while the school is set to accommodate many more pupils, students say it's a bit cramped while the work is underway.
Even the fact that we can't fit the whole school into the gym anymore, so we have to split into junior and senior assembly, there's been a large increase in the roll number here.
I came from a school of about 3,000 in Auckland, and so coming here it felt like, oh, this is a smaller school. But now that I've gotten used to it, I've noticed that, like Meg is saying, having assemblies that are quite split off is quite different.
Well, I mean, nobody loves a temporary classroom, and I think everyone, from what I hear, everyone's really keen for the new build. Everyone's really excited for new changes, new buildings in the school.
The project is part of the National School Redevelopment Program announced last year, and the work is due to be completed in the last quarter of 2022. In Queenstown, the South Today.
A Dunedin City Council campaign launched last year to entice New Zealanders to visit the city is now a finalist for a National Marketing Award. Costing $140,000, the marketing strategy, which included a video promoting the town, was met with a mixed public reaction. The promotional campaign has since been credited with contributing to a level of visitor spending that has surpassed even pre-COVID levels. The marketing strategy is now a finalist at the TVNZ NZ Marketing Awards to be announced at the beginning of next month. Kayakers filled one of the main pools at Oamaru's Aquatic Centre for the annual South Island Secondary School Canoe Polo Championships over the weekend. Now in its 8th year, the event draws school teams from as far afield as Havelock and Invercargill.
The Waitaki Aquatic Centre in Oamaru was bustling with young kayakers taking part in the annual South Island Secondary School Canoe Polo Championships over the weekend. Event coordinator Peter Anderson says the tournament, which is now in its 8th year, is a place for young players to hone their skills.
In the South Island canoe polo is a very small niche kind of sport, but these kids love it, and there have been players from this tournament have gone on and are current members of New Zealand teams that have gone to World Championships. And some of them are back here in this tournament here today coaching teams from their old school.
Anderson says the event, which this year attracted 18 teams from across the South Island, relies on assistance from a number of sources to keep going.
We have a great spirit here, and this tournament runs on an incredible amount of goodwill between all the different schools who compete and the officials and the pool staff and the local community who provide us with accommodation and sell us coffee and food during the day.
After running the event for 7 years, Anderson says that this will be his final year at the helm. In Oamaru, the South Today.
Still to come on the South Today, the Director General of Health is pleased with the Southern District Health Board, and a Christchurch school has declared that it's a smoke and vape-free zone. Ka kite a konei.
Inside are all sorts of innovations from all over China.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Hi, it's Lindsay here from CAMPBELL'S Menswear. We have a massive manufacturer's clearance plus. There's liquidated stock from our suppliers. For example, we have cotton casual trousers from 1990, dress trousers from 1990, merino zip pullovers, fashion shirts, warm winter shirts, jackets. There's a great deal on overcoats, blazers and suits. Come and check out our jeans. We're known for our jean selection.
Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Come in and see the massive manufacturer's clearance at Alex Campbell Menswear.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
Be sure to tune in to Football Chat every week where we chat about local football fixtures, results and everything else that's happening in the local game.
Ah, TV, our favourite babysitter. But it can be tough keeping up with what our tamariki are watching. Luckily, the Broadcasting Standards Authority has made some smart changes to the classification labels. Ooh! Plus changes to the time of day certain rated shows will air, and awesome new parental lock features, meaning your babysitter's job is safe. Find out more at safeviewing.co.nz.
Hoki mai anō. Director General of Health Ashley Bloomfield says he's pleased with the Southern District Health Board's progress on the COVID-19 vaccine rollout. The District Health Board is currently ranked in the top 5 health boards for the number of vaccinations administered. So far, over 15,000 doses of the Pfizer vaccine have been dispensed to people in the south. However, the board is well down on its planned rate of vaccination, agreed to with the Ministry of Health. Dr Bloomfield, who visited Dunedin on Friday, says he recognises that the South is probably the most rural district health board in terms of how far people have had to travel. He says despite the divergence from the planned vaccination numbers, he remains satisfied with the board's work. 3 pupils at Shirley Boys High School are taking a stand against vaping at their school. Because the public often use a path that runs through the school grounds, the 3 boys are installing a number of signs asking people not to vape as they walk past.
We have had past issues where members of the public have walked through our school through that pathway right there. Yeah. And we thought that maybe we could tackle that issue as it can not only reach our students but also the community.
What we're planning to do is have some decals put on the actual pathway that runs from QE2 through our school, just to clarify that it is no vaping and no smoking.
It's just like a big image or like a sign placed on the ground, which will be permanent, and we chose that because it's hard to vandalise, and it's a nice bright image which will attract the students.
I think another large part is why we wanted to focus on vaping is because, you know, as young people ourselves, we really know how, you know, toxic vaping is, how it's actually like bad for your health, because we've seen it firsthand. You know, lots of our friends vape. So we started off, we wanted to focus on, you know, like our school, but eventually we started to move into more like public. So we wanted to look at kind of the wider community and other high schools as well. But so I guess our first kind of part of the assignment was we were, you know, emailing lots of people to try and set up meetings. So like, you know, like trying to find various different ways that we could actually, you know, state what we had in mind. So yeah, we started off there. We emailed the mayor, and that was really good. Then we eventually set up a meeting with the
Bearwood Coastal Community Board. Yeah, we did a 5-minute public forum out in New Brighton with them. That went really smoothly, and then our idea got passed on to the board.
It's permission and funding, obviously. We're in high school, we don't actually have the means to do it ourselves, but yeah, so we really just wanted to approach them, and they seemed really interested in the idea. So
we believe that there are many factors to vaping, but number one reason could possibly be the social factor. Just the thought of being cool, being popular because you pick up a vape and then do it with your friends, and it just becomes that social aspect. I don't think people really know the side effects. It's obviously a new thing which has come up in recent years, so there's no hard evidence on what it does, but it's starting to come through. I think that students need to be more educated on the side effects before they start doing it.
Yeah, it's definitely gotten so much worse than when we first started, because I remember when we were year 9, almost didn't even hear about it, you know? And then now it's just become such a big issue with year 9s and 10s starting to take it up, you know.
That's in schools all over the country. It's a youth thing, not necessarily a school thing. We've seen it all across our age group.
After the break on the South today, a large-scale overseas film production pulls out of New Zealand, and we have a look at the weather heading into the working week. He koko ake nei.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
Hi, it's Lindsay here from Campbell's Menswear. We have a massive manufacturer's clearance plus. There's liquidated stock from our suppliers. For example, we have cotton casual trousers from 1990, dress trousers from 1990, merino zip pullovers, fashion shirts, warm winter shirts, jackets. There's a great deal on overcoats, blazers and suits. Come and check out our jeans. We're known for our jean selection.
Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Come in and see the massive manufacturer's clearance at Alex Campbell Menswear.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
MTF Finance can help you turn the key on your next vehicle with a loan made just for you. TCs and lending criteria apply.
Inside are all sorts of innovations from all over China.
Nā mai anō, welcome back. A decision by tech giant Amazon to pull the Lord of the Rings television series production from New Zealand will have minimal impact on the South. Proposals were being made to build a new film studio in Wanaka to meet demand from the series, but Amazon is now shifting its production to Britain, having filmed the first season in Auckland since the start of last year. Silverlight Studios team member Mike Wallace says having the production move is disappointing, but he is confident the lease will be taken up by another production soon. Queenstown industry veteran Brett Mills says the only work in the South from the first season of shooting was the filming of some landscape backgrounds in Fiordland. He says he's uncertain how much more of that kind of work would continue now. And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South today. Taurus was the centre of the country's fashion industry at the weekend, with the Wool-On event taking place. Education Minister Chris Hipkins visited Mount Aspiring College to check out its multi-million-dollar upgrade. And the South Island Schools canoe polo champs came to Oamaru over the weekend, bringing competitors from far and wide. Now for a look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT, we'll welcome editor Barry Stewart. Kia ora, Barry.
Hello, Simon. The battle continues in Invercargill. An angry Sir Tim Shadbolt claims the Invercargill City Council is spying on him via his emails. So we have that story tomorrow. Interesting development there. We also have political reaction to news that the Taliban has taken over control of Afghanistan. We also talked to a former refugee about fears for family left behind. So the political reaction is from a variety of New Zealand parties, etc., and to gauge their take on that, and some of that is quite interesting. Some saying we should embrace the change, and because the former methods obviously have never worked out terribly well.
Yeah.
So interesting debate there. And another question, a question for you: which is the most beautiful big city in New Zealand?
You mean apart from Dunedin?
No, just which is the best? Yes, you're right.
What's
You'd
the right
have
answer,
to
Darren?
you'd have to say Dunedin. Well, we will find out soon enough. We're up for an award of the best, most beautiful big city in Dunedin, in New Zealand, and we're up against Wellington. So that's the challenge.
Right.
Wellington and Dunedin. Who's going to win that one? Well, we know who our money's on, don't we? Groundswell New Zealand says it's planning another major nationwide protest event in November, following a lack of response from the government to its concerns. A spokesman for Groundswell said it would be on a scale and impact that would be significant in New Zealand's history. So look out for that one.
That's great, Barry. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
We know it's Dunedin, don't we? Now let's have a look at what's happening in the weather.
Tonight's weather proudly brought to you by Mole Map.
Starting with today's southern view of this morning's nice sunrise across Dunedin. Looking at the situation, a few days of cold southwesterly airflow will bring frequent showers to the west and south coasts, but only scattered showers further east. Winds will be strong and blustery. Looking at the southern towns, where everywhere is wet and windy, strong southwesterly showers and 10 degrees for all, the Catlins, Balclutha, Lumsden and Gore. Over in the central, strong southwesterlies and showers in Te Anau 2 on 9 degrees, and strong westerlies everywhere else. Showers for Queenstown and Wanaka on 8 and 9 degrees, with showers arriving later on in Alexandra reaching 11. To the northern towns, the prevailing westerlies are strong inland, Wamarama and Twizel with showers on 9 and 10 degrees. It's all milder on the coast, moderate winds and cloudy. Oamaru 14, Timaru 15 degrees. In Dunedin tonight, a few showers as northwesterlies subside and an overnight low of 9. Dry and breezy at first tomorrow, with high cloud developing to rain at evening, before easing to showers, a high of 13 and a low of 4. And it's generally fine on Wednesday with strong, cool westerly winds, a high of 11 and a low of 5. And in Invercargill, showers tonight with an overnight low of 8. Early rain eases to showers tomorrow with fresh, gusty, cold southwesterlies developing before things clear later in the day, a high of 10 and a low of 5. But the showers return for Wednesday along with the strong southwest winds, a high of 9 and a low of 4 degrees. And that's the news this Monday. For the latest news from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz, and you can follow Channel 39 on Facebook and YouTube. Like and subscribe to be notified of that southern news as it happens. Nō reira, kia pai te pō, ka kite anō.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.